People, what I got from that is he's a hater. If you don't know me as a person, let's say you don't like me. You don't know me. You feel me? And I don't give a fuck. Him. If everybody in the Cleveland win, I mean, win. Fuck.
Same question for you.
You're a proud father.
In boxing, every fighter operates on a different level. And Terence, but Crawford just reminded everyone exactly where he stands. During a recent live interview, Crawford didn't just lightly criticize Gervonta Tank Davis. His comments were much more direct and intense. What was expected to be a relaxed conversation quickly shifted into something more serious. Crawford openly questioned the perception built around Tank Davis. He broke down his recent performances, challenged his reputation, and even raised points about the legitimacy of his latest victory. The tone of the interview changed fast. What started as a simple sit-down turned into a moment where Crawford clearly expressed his honest views on Tank's career and performances to be by the end. It was obvious this wasn't just casual talk. It was Crawford making a strong statement about where he believes the real standards in boxing truly are.
Tank said I was a meat lover. He came in like, oh, this guy, you a meat lover.
But Tank would never even think about hesitating to come up to 154.
What about 47 though?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. If Tank get to pick his opponent, he would do it. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Y'all was doing the back and forth shit. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens? Or
Man,
is it
I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like I really don't like him. I don't like.
Just not your cup of tea. That's just not your.
I don't like nothing about him. No, I don't like nothing about him. I just feel like he just one of these little arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield him. Like he got a lot of security guards around him, and he know, he in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
I respect him as a fighter.
Yeah.
He definitely got skills. He got power. He got tremendous boxing ability. But like his core personality and his ways, nah.
Crawford made his stance perfectly clear. He recognizes all the hype and hears the constant talk. But he's simply not convinced by IT that in his view, Tank has been avoiding the toughest challenges. And Crawford's words have now stirred things up across the entire lightweight division. And if anyone believed the tension between these two had already faded, this moment proved otherwise. What Crawford said, the way he framed it, and the meaning behind it all sent a clear shock through the conversation.
You said going out on 3 fights. You know the last 2 fights you want to go out on? Yeah, this the last fight. The last fight you want to go out on. Like, who? Do you have anybody in mind? No, I'm saying no. I don't have my name right now. But I got somebody I want to call out after this fight. You said you got somebody you want to call out after this fight? Yeah. Who is that? I'm not gonna tell you.
Is it Lomachenko?
Who?
Somebody asked Lomachenko.
All
right.
Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready. What you think about that?
Oh,
Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready.
I need 3 now.
Yeah.
Steven Espinoza said Shakur turned down a 1-fight deal to fight you because he wanted a multi-fight deal. What's your thoughts on that? He's not worth it. He's not worth no multi-fight deal. He's not even worth it. Come on, man. Cam got to fight somewhere else and prove himself, and then you feel me? You know how they got UFC and like the underground shit? You got to fight on the underground shit and get that.
You got to go to the G League.
You have an idea what?
The first major moment came when the host casually brought up Tank's earlier remark, suggesting that Crawford is only after a payday. Crawford's reaction said it all. He looked genuinely thrown off, as if questioning the logic behind it. He responded with a sharp reality check. According to him, every fighter is in it for the money to some extent. He made it clear he's no exception, saying he's not stepping into the ring for free. But the point he was making went beyond finances. Crawford was calling out what he saw as inconsistency in the narrative. If money is the discussion, then Tank isn't operating on some untouchable level either. At the end of the day, both are elite fighters chasing both legacy and paychecks. So why act like one is above that reality? The tension didn't ease up there. When asked how he would feel if Tank moved up to 154 to face him, Crawford didn't hesitate or show excitement. His response was calm and dismissive. He simply said he wished him well, and that answer spoke volumes. It didn't sound like an invitation or encouragement. It sounded like Crawford wasn't even entertaining the idea seriously, that in other words, he's not pursuing Tank. If Tank really wants that fight, he would have to step into a completely different weight class and prove himself all over again. And based on Crawford's tone, he clearly doesn't view that scenario as realistic right now.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that moving up 2 weight classes and, daring to be great.
You would fight him,
man. Tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Ooh. Wow, man. Gervonta said you got a glass.
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147? At
147. I'll make 147 for him.
Ooh, see, oh, man.
You're going to have a pre-camp.
Then what the people going to say? Oh, he's beating up on little guys.
I don't know.
The man remains undefeated for a reason. He understands his value, and he's not about to spend his prime chasing fantasy fights with opponents who only narrowly got past Lamont Roach. Things really started to heat up at this point. Crawford didn't stop at questioning Tank's resume. He went deeper and broke down his most recent performance with sharp precision. When the conversation shifted to the Roach fight, Crawford didn't soften his stance at all. He spoke openly and directly, offering a detailed breakdown without hesitation. He pointed to the moment when Tank went down to a knee, something he believed should have been ruled as a knockdown, and questioned why it wasn't officially scored that way. Crawford also highlighted another unusual scene, where members of Tank's team stepped onto the ring apron during a round and wiped something from his eyes. In his view, that raised serious questions about how the situation was handled in real time, that he didn't stop there either. Crawford even brought attention to the referee's actions, noting how Steve Willis began the count, but then suddenly halted it without a clear explanation. To Crawford, that sequence looked inconsistent and hard to understand from a rules standpoint. Altogether, he was pointing out what he saw as multiple questionable moments in the fight, suggesting there were decisions and situations that deserved a closer look. Come out on top, and Lamont Roach would have had the upper hand on the scorecards. And to be fair, that kind of statement isn't something you usually hear from another top-level fighter. It shows Crawford isn't interested in diplomacy or protecting reputations. He's speaking his honest assessment of what he saw. From his perspective, Tank entered the fight with too much confidence. He felt Tank didn't fully respect Roach as an opponent, and that level of complacency nearly ended up costing him and Gervonta Davis to run through Lamont Roach without much trouble. Just another routine payday, another knockout highlight, and another confident post-fight celebration. But Roach changed that narrative immediately. From the opening round, he brought steady pressure, sharp accuracy, and a fearless approach that caught attention early. Instead of being an easy matchup, he turned into a serious problem for Tank and made it one of the most challenging fights of his career. Then came the 9th round, the moment that had fans fully locked in. After a clean combination involving a right hand and body shots, Tank went down to a knee. It didn't look accidental or off balance. It appeared to be the result of damage, and many saw it as a clear knockdown situation that shifted the momentum of the fight.
Scorecards. Judge at the ringside, Eric Marlinsky scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scored about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
And it wasn't only Terence Crawford pointing it out. Well-known boxing figures such as Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya also took to social media and echoed the same opinion that I in their view. It was clearly a knockdown, no arguments, no gray area, just a moment they believed should have been scored accordingly. In their eyes, the referee's decision not to rule it a knockdown shifted the entire momentum of the bout. That single call, or lack of one, changed how the fight played out from that point onward. And to many observers, that moment may have played a crucial role in preserving Tank's unbeaten record.
How is this not a knockdown? Tank Davis was just exposed, man. What is going on in the sport of boxing, man? KDB Sports and Entertainment.
I wasn't relying on that. I was relying on what I was doing in there. I think I was taking control. I think I was landing more shots. I think I was landing more power shots. And I thought I was doing my thing. So I'm not really that frustrated about that.
Now here's where the story takes an interesting turn. Tank and Roach go way back to their amateur days, both coming out of the same DMV boxing scene. So there's real history between them. Because of that familiarity, it's possible Tank believed he already understood Roach's style and timing. That kind of assumption may have shaped how he approached a fight.
This is my opinion. Sure. It was a great fight. It was a close fight. Depending on what they do with that decision of taking the knee, depending if the commission reverses the decision or if, I think a draw was meant to be. So I like the draw. No, if you take the knee, man, if you take the knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking a point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little, because he loves Tank. He loves New York. He loves the big lights. The referee with the eyes, he's like, a point should be deducted if you take a knee. It's a fact. It's in the rule book, right? The fact that they didn't take it away, then that's where the controversy is, right? It's not, look, did Gervonta get hit? Was he dazed? Who knows? Only he knows. But what I saw, when you take a knee, that's an automatic point. That's just the rule. This is not basketball. This is not, this is not basketball where, wait, hold on, my ankle hurts. Hold on, let me take a timeout. You don't take timeouts in boxing. It just doesn't happen. Whether he had something in his eye or not, you have to fight. There's 3 minutes to fight. So if you take a knee, if you go to your corner, I mean, the rules are the rules. And I don't know what New York is gonna settle on, but the rules are the rules.
That night, I haven't watched the full fight. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, that, he should be disqualified.
But Crawford made one thing clear. This is not amateur boxing anymore. The professional level is a completely different game where every mistake carries real consequences that in his view. If Tank believes he can rely on his name and reputation to get by, he could be headed for a harsh reality check.
I think the hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Okendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He a hard hit motherfucker.
One of the most talked about moments from the interview came when Crawford raised a bigger issue in boxing: why the sport's biggest names aren't consistently facing each other. But he pointed directly at a list of elite fighters, including Teofimo Lopez, Vasyl Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, and Devin Haney. On paper, these are the matchups fans want most, yet many of them haven't happened. Crawford described it as simple politics getting in the way. In his view, too many potential super fights are sitting on the sidelines instead of being made inside the ring.
And Gervonta Tank Davis just been released to the public. We know now, December 14th, Houston, Texas, he's going to be facing a very tough opponent in Lamont Roach. Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, you know. Roach and him, back and forth battles and whatnot. It's gonna be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight. I mean, I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
According to Crawford, if the sport's biggest names end up retiring without ever facing each other, it would leave a major blemish on this era of boxing. In his opinion, the best should be competing against the best while they're still at their peak, that he even openly admitted, "I'm not going to be the only one walking around with a loss," showing a mindset rooted in competition rather than protecting an undefeated record. To him, that reflects a fighter who values real challenges over carefully managed careers. From that perspective, if Tank is avoiding certain matchups just to preserve his zero, Crawford believes he's already operating on a different level, both in mentality and in the way he approaches the sport. And the conversation wasn't limited to just one fight. Crawford also made subtle but pointed observations that suggested deeper doubts about how some big fights are handled. When asked about the Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis bout and the rehydration clause, he gave a balanced take. He acknowledged that Tank likely wasn't wrong to include it, but also noted that such restrictions clearly had an impact on Ryan Garcia's performance.
Tank would never even think about to come up to 154.
What about 47 though?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens? Or is it like...
I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like, I really don't like him. That's like,
just not your cup of tea. That's just not your...
I don't like nothing about him. I just feel like, you know, he just one of these little arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But like his core personality and his ways, nah.
But then Crawford added a more nuanced observation. He pointed out how certain fighters can come in at 130 on the scale and then rehydrate up to around 165 by fight night. He didn't directly name anyone, but the implication was easy to understand. What he was highlighting was a broader concern about how boxing has evolved. In his view, the modern game has too many gray areas, rules and conditions that can be used in ways that shift advantages and shape outcomes, without singling anyone out directly. He suggested that fighters like Tank often operate within a system that allows these kinds of advantages to exist, making the sport less straightforward than it should be. Beyond any one name, Crawford expanded the discussion to the division as a whole. He argued that the weight class is becoming congested, with too many top fighters avoiding clear matchups, leaving fans without the fights they actually want to see. There are plenty of elite names in the sport, but very few true head-to-head matchups. According to Crawford, most fighters are being strategic, carefully planning their careers and playing the long game instead of taking immediate high-risk fights. Meanwhile, from the fans' perspective, the excitement feels stalled. Big fights aren't happening fast enough, and anticipation keeps building without real payoff. Crawford also brought up the influence of Saudi Arabia, where massive fight purses have started to change the landscape. He suggested that financial incentives on that scale could finally push top fighters into facing each other. He made it clear he's open to it all, traveling anywhere, taking risks, and stepping into major fights if it means making history. The question he left hanging was simple. Will Tank Davis be willing to meet that same level of commitment? While Crawford is pushing for real, high-stakes fights, he believes Tank has been leaning more toward exhibition buzz, social media attention, and close, hard-fought wins that don't fully silence doubts that in his view. The contrast between their approaches is becoming more obvious. Then Crawford ended the discussion on Tank with a line that stood out. He said, "They all know each other." On the surface, it sounds simple, but it carries a deeper meaning when you think about the shared history and connections between fighters in the same circles.
How you feel about that fight? Is it even possible at a catch weight?
Nah, ain't no catch weight. You come up to 47.
You're not even entertaining the catch weight.
No, I'm not.
He's a champ though too, undefeated.
And what champ? Come on, man, tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at.
All right,
I'll welcome him.
Crawford is highlighting that many of the biggest names, Tank, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, and Shakur Stevenson, have all crossed paths since their amateur days. They've shared the same circuits, seen each other up close, and understand each other's fighting styles, strengths, and weaknesses that in his view. The question becomes even more obvious. If they already know each other so well, what's really stopping these matchups from happening inside the professional ring?
If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break your fucking neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it. And I'm not talking about no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break your neck.
Because, as Crawford suggests, knowing each other so well might actually be the reason these fights aren't happening. Maybe some fighters are aware of styles that don't favor them, and that creates hesitation. In that sense, Tank could be seen as being careful about certain risks that, on the other hand, Crawford presents himself as willing to face anyone, anywhere, at any time. For him, there are no shortcuts or selective matchups, only the toughest challenges available. Overall, this interview wasn't just a shot at Gervonta Davis. It came across as a broader message to the entire boxing world. Crawford was emphasizing what he believes real championship mentality looks like. No avoidance, no image management, no carefully protected record, just a willingness to take on the best and prove it in the ring.
Going up those weight classes to face him, you know, how can you convince fans that he can beat Canelo?
I ain't trying to convince y'all that he can beat Canelo. He's a good fighter. But, bro, I would say smaller fighters are always better than bigger fighters because, like, you know, they're smaller, they know how to move and things like that. But this guy is great at what he do. He got. And another thing, bro, I don't be wanting to. How these guys is. Then he get hurt against.
Imagine off. There you talking about Gamboa. Talking about Gamboa. By Magimov, is that what you
No,
said?
he got clipped by
Gamboa,
right? Right? How the fuck is he's looking this strong over the past year? I mean, these years. He ain't been getting clipped or nothing. So now, that's that snack shit. I'm telling you. Y'all laugh. I'm always.
No detail. Open up.
And that guy that a part of it, he been caught before. He went to jail for it.
Talking about Victor Conti.
He went to jail, right?
Victor Conti.
Yeah. And he the owner of the snack shit, right? And he went to jail for it. Now it's like.
It's all over.
You know, you see, I don't want to throw him under the bus, but you see, Earl said some things like that, like about like the people in the steroids, but
yeah,
they don't want to say those names. But come on, bro. Like,
if Tank is paying attention, the spotlight is firmly on him now. The attention around this situation has grown, and Crawford's comments have clearly intensified the conversation. The challenge has been laid out publicly, and fans are now left debating what could happen if these two ever shared the ring. If a fight like that ever gets made, opinions will be split. Some backing Crawford's skill and experience, others favoring Tank's power and explosiveness. Either way, the discussion isn't slowing down anytime soon. The boxing world is watching closely, waiting to see if talk like this ever turns into something real inside the ring.